welcome. My name is Rachel. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm sharing some yummy and super delicious treats that I made with some of my family. My daughter Hillary and her family were coming over to make treats and cookies, so before they arrived, I got busy and made some gingerbread cookies. Originally, I had planned on making traditional cut-out sugar cookies, but in the end decided to take the easy route and just get some of this store-bought gingerbread cookie dough and just roll it out and bake up some gingerbread people so that all the kids would have to do is decorate them any way they want to. I just put down some flour. I know this is a lot, but I just, I do what I want to do. And so I just rolled out my cookie dough. If you've watched my videos before, you definitely know that I am not a from scratch type of baker, but that doesn't stop me from trying to do my best with my abilities. And if that means using a store-bought cookie dough or a boxed cake mix, then that's how I roll. And I'm just cutting out some gingerbread people, and then I'm also doing a few snowmen with my snowman cookie cutter just for those little odds and ends corners where you can't fit a whole other gingerbread person.
Rudolph, my dear, the forecast ain't clear, so will you please light my way and lead this old man's sleigh? I said, Rudolph, my friend, once more will you lend your red nose, or heaven knows how this sleigh ride will end. Rudolph, my man, you're the only one who can save the day. Say yea or nay, now will you pull my sleigh? Oh, Rudolph.
Now my cookies are all baked and they're on the cooling rack, so they'll be ready to decorate when everybody gets here, and I'm just laying out the rest of our supplies. That way we can get right down to business.
Let us go and fill all the little children's hearts with joy. Rudolph, my dear, you know the forecast ain't clear, so will you please light the way and lead old Santa sleigh? Yeah, lead old Santa sleigh.
Cherry chip cake is something that I make every Christmas, and I know you're probably saying boxed cake mix is one of your Christmas traditions. Well, I don't care if hopping on one foot at the stroke of Christmas is your tradition. It's a tradition, and this is mine. And so I replaced the water that the recipe called for with the juice from the cherries, and then just filled in the little bit of water to make the whole cup. I chopped up my cherries and then added that to the batter as well, and then just mixed the rest of the ingredients as it calls for on the cake mix, and then I just added it into my greased bundt pan. Why do I always say that? I don't know. Baked it and then turned it out onto a plate. And then next for this cake, I just cooled it on my front porch of all places, but it was nice and cold today, so it cooled down really quick out there. And then when I was ready, I just microwaved this can of vanilla frosting and just poured it right along the top. This cake always turns out so moist and delicious with those chopped up cherries inside, and then the cake is always pink from the cherry juice. It just gives me all the Christmassy vibes. This is actually one of my daughter's favorite cakes, and she asks for it every year on her birthday, which is in February, so it's perfect for Valentine's as well.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is here to celebrate one day. We have our ups and downs, but when there's love there's always a way. And oh, this time of year we come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace.
And we're just gonna get busy making everything that we can dipped in chocolate. And so we're also just unrolling some candies, chopping up some Oreos, getting them crushed nice and good. We're gonna make some Nutella Oreo truffles. And I don't have a food processor, so I have my daughter Hillary doing all the hard work here.
But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace and love and happiness. We come together to celebrate.
I thought it was super cute how some of my grandsons actually wanted to wear a Christmas apron.
We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day.
For our Oreo truffles, we just added 5 tablespoons of Nutella to our 20 crushed up Oreo cookies, and then we put a half a brick of cream cheese in as well, and then just mixed them all up together, formed our balls, and then dipped them into the almond bark and then added sprinkles. So that was super easy and everyone loved them.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents. But it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
And here you see my grandson Lennox is busy getting those Oreo balls all formed. This was a really dirty job, but he didn't want to wear any gloves to do it. The kids were super excited about eating their treats after they got them all made up. They had so much fun making them, and they were so proud of them when they were done. And this little guy sure enjoyed his cherry chip cake. Now that those Oreo truffles are done, it's time to get the sprinkles on. Next, we got busy decorating our gingerbread people. And in the beginning, they were turning out pretty good, but my royal icing started getting thick on me. These treats were supposed to be marshmallow peanut butter Cheerio bars, but I messed up and bought honey bunches of oats instead of Cheerios somehow. And so you will see that we carry on with it, but they just were not the same. But you just add your butter and your marshmallows like you're making Rice Krispie treats, add some peanut butter, and then the cereal, and that's what we had. And our gingerbread station turned out pretty fun for a while, but my icing kind of set up a little too hard inside the bottles, and then when you pushed really hard, then things started oozing out the sides. So we made do and got as many of our gingerbread people decorated while we could. This was a really fun idea. It's still fun to decorate your gingerbread people when maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the cutout sugar cookies like I was. And like I said, don't be afraid to use a store-bought cookie dough. I promise you, these cookies tasted just as good as from scratch, and my grandkids had no idea that they were not homemade. They will remember one day coming over and decorating gingerbread people at their grandma's house. Well, I think he turned out pretty cute, and that was so much fun. I decided to leave this clip in of the boys playing with my camera, so one day they can look back and see how silly they were. And here is just one of our trays of treats all put together. When we were all done with all that hard work, my daughter and I busted out the eggnog. I had some amaretto on hand as well as some eggnog and some cinnamon. The kids, of course, did not have any booze in their eggnog. To get started, I just poured some eggnog into a glass, and then I added a shot of this amaretto. This was actually after everyone had left and gone home for the night, but we did have eggnog while the family was over. I just decided to have a glass of eggnog by myself in solitude after the mess was cleaned up, and enjoy the peace and quiet. Once that eggnog was all nice and frothy, then I added a few scoops of whipped topping. Then I just added a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. I know some people use nutmeg, but I do not like nutmeg, so I'm just going with a little bit of cinnamon. There are so many recipes out there for eggnog. Of course, you don't have to add any alcohol at all. I think this would be so good if you substituted caramel or some peppermint. Thank you so much for stopping by my family's table. I always say my love language is food, and if I've ever fed you, consider yourself hugged. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll come back and watch more of my future videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.